Good afternoon, everybody, and Having the Chats podcast is back. And tonight I have an amazing guest, a long-time friend of ours, Ballymun man, Gizzy Kiely.
Thank you so much, Laura. Thank you so much.
So, Gizzy, I wanted to get you on here today because you're kind of, I suppose, what you represent to me, and you can correct me if I'm wrong, is mindfulness, looking after yourself, using the benefits of exercise and training to overcome kind of any mental health things that anyone's going through, or just to make themselves healthy. But you have recently just gotten keys to your very own new gym.
We have.
How does that feel?
Feels great. It's very exciting. It really is very, very exciting for me. I'm so looking forward to going on and having this new journey in my life. I did step away for it for a while because personally, I wasn't too sure on what I wanted to do. I always knew the mind, the body fitness was always something that was in me. It was always something that we practiced. It was always something that we preached. It's something that I totally recommend for everybody.
And it's something that you study an awful lot as well, neuroscience and everything.
100%. I find a lot of things even in life is like, personally, it's like people can tell you the benefits of the gym. They can tell you the benefits of the mindfulness and the neuroscience and stuff like that. But truly, until you go and actually investigate this stuff yourself, you don't fully believe it, you don't fully understand it. And how we know this from a personal perspective is because I know from talking to a lot of folks, training a lot of folks, when I preach this stuff, people know that I practice it, but when I preach it, it's very, very hard for people to grasp. And when I go back to a stage where I didn't do the gym, I didn't do mindfulness, I thought it was all hocus pocus. I thought it was a load of bollocks. Because genuinely, I thought everything was like materialistic. You had to look good on the outside. You have to like set this, the best of gear, the best of gym, the best of equipment. It was, at the end of the day, it was all for show. So for me personally, it was like the best understanding I got was it all started with awareness for me. But here's where people can go wrong. You can become aware of something, but until you practice it and actually understand what the benefits of it are and why it works, you won't believe the true benefits of it. So what I'm trying to aim at is basically, for me, it's like I went and studied the anatomy, the physiology, the pharmacology. And then the more I studied that, the more I believed chemically what was changing inside me. So for me personally, like even years ago, when I started off in the gym, when you start off doing your training and you feel good, it's very easy to go back to who you were before.
Because you feel good now, so you're like, I'm fixed. I don't need to go to the gym
so
anymore.
You feel like, I'm fixed, I don't need to go to the gym, I'm feeling okay. But for me, on a personal level is, and I chatted with you even before this, is basically for the mind, body and fitness. If I didn't have this in my life, I wouldn't be who I am today. I couldn't take the approach I take to certain things in my life today. I wouldn't feel as good as I do today. So a lot of it came back, everything was personal for me. Genuinely the whole fitness thing and the mindfulness, it's all an inside job. So what I'm trying to get at basically around the fitness is you can go and you can do your gym for a week, you can go and do your membership. We all look at people, we watch people on social media, we watch people online, we see how good they're doing, or how good they feel. And we just presume then it's like, oh, well, if I do that for a week or two, I'm going to be okay. Like you said, it's like, I'm fixed. There's no fixing it because no one's broken. This has to be something that you have to stay consistent with.
It's a tool.
It's a tool. And that's exactly what it is. It's a tool to cope in life, to learn to deal better, to get up in the morning, feel better about yourself. So what I'm trying to say as well is, until I actually studied anatomy, physiology and pharmacology, then I actually got an understanding of what's going on inside you chemically. Like what endorphins. Endorphins are being released. Dopamine is being released. Because at the end of the day, we're all only human. We're pleasure-seeking human beings. Everybody is pleasure-seeking. Now, I'll touch on another stage about pleasure and happiness, but one thing I want to say on that is, don't mistake pleasure for happiness. They're two totally different fucking things. You know, pleasure is instant, happiness is seeked. So I find for me, starting off at first before doing the gym and being in the gym game, you can't go in it full of ego and thinking just because I've seen your man on social media and he looks like he's doing well, or he looks physically like he's doing well and he's minding himself. There's no denying you are. But if you're going in and you think after 1 day, 7 days, 30 days, let's say you're fixed, that is not the case. Like you said, it's a tool that you have to continuously use, even on the days that you don't feel like fucking doing it, because you can very easily spiral back into old mindset, old behaviours, old habits. So it's about staying consistent. And what it is with the likes of the gym, again, when you understand anatomy, physiology, pharmacology, but you have to look at that and say, right, last week I done the gym for 3 days, for 4 days, I felt a lot better about myself. This week I didn't train, I'm feeling a little bit shit. So you have to remember that anyone can change, right, as long as you're willing to change. But it's the work that you have to put into it. It comes with consistency. You know, you have to be consistent in order to reap the rewards from the mental, physical and mindfulness. Because I know for me, if you stop even for a day or two, you can easily fall back into old ways of thinking. And what I mean by old ways of thinking is, when you have a thought, it brings a feeling, which that feeling can bring up an emotion, and then you take action off that emotion. So if you can correct that every day and understand pharmacology, what's going on inside your body, saying, no, I got to do this because I feel so much better than myself, and I know down the line the benefits this is going to have on me. So I know for me, with doing all the physical and the mindfulness, if I can show up every day and do that in my life, I can become a better version of me, which can be a better version, let's say, for your family, and then you can be a better version of your community. So with a lot of people is, a lot of this whole mind, body, fitness stuff is so underestimated. You look at people doing it and you just think they're doing it for a week, they're doing it for a month, they're at the doing it. A majority of the people you are looking at online are people that are doing it years. But you might only see a video or a clip that's only bleeding 10 or 20 seconds long. And then you think, oh, if I go to the gym, I'm going to feel better about myself, my life is going to change. This is something that has to be consistent. It has to be on a continuously basis. Like, where even the days you don't feel like going, you have to fucking go. You have to show up for yourself, number one. Like, and I'll talk here on a personal level from me before. So it's amazing for me now to be going back out on Monday and back open in the gym and running the gym, getting in with people, helping people through their mental health and stuff. Because years ago, when I went into the gym game, I went in with the wrong approach. I didn't understand. I heard, obviously, the changes that go on inside your body, dopamine, endorphins, but I never really investigated. I just knew that they were these big fucking words. But it was only actually till I was doing it myself and then actually got more of an understanding of, why am I feeling good here? Why am I less anxious today? Why am I not, when I go to bed, and now when I close my eyes, my brain doesn't just switch on, I can actually lie there and be comfortable, because I'm after changing the chemistry of what's going on in my body and my mind with the physical stuff and the mindfulness.
And I 100% get that, because people who follow me know that we dipped into the powerlifting a few years ago, and that was it was by chance. It came from an interview with a lovely lady, Niamh Savage, down in Cork, and she was telling me all about powerlifting, and she was flying, and I said to her, sure, I'm 40, I'm too old now to start. And she says, are you mad? She said, I only started 3 years ago, and she was 42. So I was like, oh really? Oh my God, right, that's it. So within a week I had a coach, I had a gym, and I was powerlifting. And Chris came along with me, and we stuck with that for, I'll say, 2 years. And with the help of the amazing Laura Vogelsang, she got me through to Division 1.
Fitness game.
I literally, at 56 kilos, I got into Division 1 powerlifting, and I was so fucking proud of myself. And then we got married, and then just after, I'd say November last year, I got a load of negativity online. Right, and it wasn't anything to do with the powerlifting. It was more to do with my appearance, the Bell's palsy, my voice, things like that. And to be honest, Gizzy, I fell out of the gym. I just was like, you know, it depressed me so much. What was going on with me and the way people had reacted to a video I'd put up, and they were attacking my appearance and my voice and the whole lot. And these are things that I cannot change. Do you know what I mean? So I went into a depression. I nosedived into a depression, and everybody knows since then, since November last year, I've struggled to put anything on Instagram. I stopped training.
It knocks your self-confidence.
Yeah,
it knocks your
but
self-confidence.
to stop me training in something that I loved, but it wasn't.
And you know the benefits of it.
I know the benefits of it. And I also know, that if I pull out the rack, I mean, we've everything at home. I know if I pull out the racks and I do a bit, which I have done, like periodically, like I'll do kind of 1 week, I'll do one day, and 3 weeks later I'll do something else, and 4 weeks later I'll do something else, which isn't useless. That's not going to work. But I completely understand what you mean, where I also know that if I went back to training 3 days a week next week, all those endorphins are going to come back and I will feel better. But it's dragging myself out of the depression and back under the rack, and that's the thing. But I completely get it.
And I totally get you. I fully understand you 100%, because I know for myself the same with people, and this is for people that I try to get on board, that I talk to, and this is the one thing I try to tell them is, let's say today is Wednesday, you're saying I'm going to go back to the gym on Monday. You've replayed that workout in your head a fucking 1,000 times to where you've done it in your head so many times to where you don't feel good after it, because we think in pictures. You've played that over and over in your head, and because you've done it, you've been in the gym 1,000 times, you've done the workout in your mind, so you think, you're not going to go back because you haven't felt the benefits of it. But until you physically go in and do that and change that chemistry of what's going on in your body, it's only then you can say, wow, shit, this is why I do it. This is why I feel better in myself. Again, like I said, Laura, it comes back anatomy, physiology, pharmacology. This is like a thing that I say to a lot of clients or people to looking to come on board and reassure them. A lot of people, you know, carry a lot of inside stuff, a lot of hurt over years, a lot of pain. You know, trauma. Oh, we all have trauma. We all have trauma. How you deal with it is just fucking different. Do you know what I mean? How you can sit with your trauma and how you can deal with it. Listen, I know even for us sitting here today, not a lot of people are as open and honest. That I totally get, that I accept.
We've no fucking filter.
We've no filter. I'd fucking look at, listen, I talk for Ireland. Do you know what I mean? So look at, listen, this is me. I wouldn't change for the world. Don't give a bollocks. Do you know what I mean? So we know from the whole trauma side of things, and you know, the biggest critic in our lives, nobody will criticise you more than yourself. You know, people might say it's mad and the whole lot, but nobody speaks to you more than you speak to yourself. So this is where people have to get conscious about how the fuck you speak to yourself in a daily. From the minute you get up, you have to get thinking about what you're thinking about. So this is the mindset I'm trying to put on the clients is, and I tell them, I understand, I've done it years ago. Before you're coming to the gym, you've pictured that 1,000 times in your head. The workout has been done. It's been hard. It's been tough. Even just to get out the door, put the runners on, show up in the gym. You've done the workout 1,000 times, and because you haven't done it physically, already mentally, you're fucking drained from it. You say, well, it's not going to benefit me. Until you're willing to show up for yourself. And I know for me, everything in life comes back to you, number one. I can help people, support people, guide people. But at the end of the day, people have to show up for number one. You have to show up for yourself. Stop waiting for other people to, you know, it's like, I need to be dragged to the gym or I need to be pushed to the gym. If people... Mental health, I'll touch on another little thing. Mental health wouldn't be so bad in this country and around the bleeding world if people actually just went out and done something physical and actually did change the pharmacology. Because whether you like it or not, when you go and do the gym, you're going to feel better about yourself. You know, you go home and then you start to think more positively. You know, you start to, you know, maybe that gym session might lead you to going out and being a little bit more social. Maybe it might help you join a bleeding sport. This is the power of fitness. Now, I'll also talk about here, like I said, the power of the mind, and it's so underestimated. The physical stuff, the mindfulness, I've always said it. The physical stuff is good. Put the mind into the mix. It's absolute bleeding magic. I used to think years ago, a lot of this was all fucking hocus pocus, blow out your ass shit. This is just people making money off of this stuff. But it was only during the lockdown for me personally where I actually said, hang on here, you know, we're going through a tough time. I'm seeing a lot of people being affected by the bleeding, you know, the whole COVID situation. I said to myself, hang on, I can't allow my mindset to go there, because I know what it's like to be insecure, self-conscious, you know, feel worthless, don't feel like your point matters, you don't matter. And at the bottom line, and I'll be totally honest with you, I knew for me, even though I was out doing the physical stuff, I always looked in the mirror and I always said to myself, I know I'm physically here, I know I'm physically getting out and doing stuff, but who the fuck am I? Who the fuck am I? Because I know at the end of the day for me, no matter what I done physically, when I used to lie down and close my eyes, then my brain would switch on. Then all the trauma comes in, all the bad, the hurt, the fucking, the thoughts, you know, people putting you down, you know, childhood trauma, you know, you're worthless, you're a piece of shit, you're gonna go nowhere in life. I mean, I would never in a million years sugarcoat this stuff. This stuff holds memory. If you think your brain holds memory, you should get in touch with your body and you will really see how much memory you hold. For instance, I'll put on, you think you're feeling good 7 days a week, you seen somebody you knew from 10 years ago. Fuck me, you might go into a state of anxiety, a state of shock, a state of a little bit of fear, feeling like a little bit, like feeling like a little boy or a little girl again. Because that's your body without your say-so. The minute you see them, even though you're not thinking of this stuff, when you see them, it's what your body reminds you of, what you remember of them. So this is where I try to preach the importance of, I always preach the importance of mind, body, fitness. You have to get comfortable being uncomfortable. As much as you don't like it, as much as it's shit to feel uncomfortable, it's challenging. I'd even say on a personal level, I've done some uncomfortable things in my life. Things I wouldn't have been proud of. I didn't know no different at the time. I done no inside work. I didn't know who fucking Stephen Kiely was. I genuinely didn't. I didn't know how to think for myself. I was always doing everyone else's thinking. I was running off ego. I had these layers of ego where it was like, I'm going to prove a point to society. I'm going to prove a point to this person, that person. I am a somebody. I am worth more in life. But until I actually understood my own values, my own worth. And what I mean is by that, it's like we all look for validation, outside validation, right? For people to say, oh, you know, you are good at that.
And can I just say as well, if you're looking for a validation from other people out there, you're not going to get it.
No.
You're just not going to get it. It's not going to.
And a lot of it is, and I know for me as well, it's like people that say, oh, I want to see, look, and this isn't me being negative, anything on the social media, I'm never negative. You know, do I have bad days in between? Of course I do, but this is where the mind, body, and stuff like comes back into this, is because this is what has to be practiced, sitting with yourself. So look, people will tell you, you're doing good, you're doing a great job, but at the end of the day, it's like, but don't do bleeding better than me. And I know, listen, Laura, and I know how much that had an impact on you. I know from a personal level how much of an impact the criticism, the putting you down, the knocking you.
On fucking killed me, to be honest with you. It was really, really bad.
It can bring you to rock bottom.
Poor Chris has had to deal with that with me for a long time, and he's great, and he'll get out to gym stuff, and you'd be like, come on, you're training with me, and I'll be like, no, do you know what, I'll do it tomorrow. And then that night I'll be after watching him training, and I'll sit there feeling shit, saying,
worse, 'cause you know
why didn't I just do it? He only set up all that to try and encourage me. Why didn't I do it? And then I'm fucking beating myself up all night, and I'd be like, I'll do it tomorrow, I promise. And then tomorrow comes, and I'm like, I can't do it, and then I'm beating myself up again. You know, so it is, and it doesn't matter how many people try to help you or try. It's like drag a horse to water. Do you know what I mean? You can't make it drink. So it is. It's all about your head, and you need to just fucking do it. I'm gonna take my own advice as well.
And I know
after
even for
this,
me as well, and I've even been saying this stuff to people during the week. You can have 100 people, 1,000 people telling you how good you are and what your worth is. Until you believe that yourself, that means sweet fuck all.
Yeah.
People can help you, they
Yeah.
can advise you,
Yeah.
but it means nothing at the end of the day. Like I said, and I'll just bring it back to what we were talking about a few minutes ago. When I went into the gym game, I went in, you know, full of ego, full of fear. I was trying to do it to prove a point there. I was never doing it.
You started this years ago, didn't you?
Years ago, back in 2012, I
Yeah.
started this.
Yeah.
I didn't listen. I'm not the same person I am today as I was back then. And
Well,
I can.
none of us are the same
None of
as
us.
we
None
were
of us
10
are.
years ago.
Somebody you can even look and say, and this is hard for people to grasp and say, but physically you look the same, because physically people grow up, but mentally they fucking don't.
Yeah.
You still have that fucking childish mentality. You still have that trauma. You still have that hurt. I'm not saying we don't carry that. Until you're willing to get to a stage, let's say, never mind be open and honest with other people, be open and honest with your bleeding self, and sit with the uncomfortability. And what I was saying was, I've done some uncomfortable things in my life. The most uncomfortable work, and I mean the most uncomfortable work I've ever had to do in my life, was have to sit with myself.
Yeah.
Having to sit with myself was one of the hardest things I ever had to do. But you know what? I got a lot of personal growth from it. Because like I said, even though you know, you are a physical being, you know, you're walking, you're talking, people see you on a daily, you put on a front, you put on a smile, you're full of ego, but you're dying inside, you're dying because you're your biggest critic. You walk away from conversations, criticise yourself. Oh shit, should I have said this, should I have said that? Maybe I just said that in that conversation because I wanted to fit in on that conversation.
Exactly.
It's weird, when you can just show up in life for yourself, to be yourself, your fully authentic self, that's all you can truly ever be.
Yeah.
And the likes of the outside validation, I don't look, and it's great that I'm so aware of this now because I've done the inside work. I don't seek outside validation anymore.
Yeah.
I don't wait for social media for 100 likes to say, oh, you're doing rapping me, or you have 100 people that want to come on board. You know, I don't seek outside validation for somebody to say now, do you know your potential? Do you know your worth? Do you know what you're capable of? I have to be honest and sit with myself and say, hang on, if they're telling me this, but I don't fully believe it, what fucking use is that to me?
Exactly.
That's no use to me because nothing's going to work, nothing's going to change. So for me, it was like mind, body, fitness until I actually started understanding the benefits of that. For me, it's the biggest medicine anyone can have in their life. It's mind and body.
Exactly, and it's not bullshit. There is a fucking science to it.
100%.
There is a
100%.
science to it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Come here, how are you gonna balance like the gym, managing the gym, your clients and your home life and everything?
Because I have my mind in
it's a lot.
check. Because I have my mind in check.
You're so focused on this
physically,
now,
I could do all of these things all day, every day, but it'd run me into the ground if I don't have my mind in check. And here's another thing I'll touch base with people on. A lot of people, we wake up in the mornings, used to do myself, you know, you look for a sense of connection, a sense of worth. We reach for a mobile phone, you know, you go to someone's house, you have a conversation. You're looking for a sense of connection. You know, again, it's outside validation of, I am connected to society. I am connected in life. I have this connection with other people. You need to start your mornings off by getting connected with yourself. Yeah. Stay away from people. Stay away from mobile phones. Stop looking for outside validation. Stop looking to feel connected. If your brain isn't connected with your body, there's no real fucking connection. So what I preach and what I practice is, I get up in the mornings and the first person I'm getting connected with is Stephen Kiely. Yeah. What does Stephen Kiely want today? Who does Stephen want to be today? Yeah. How does Stephen want to feel today? I don't look for that in other people.
That's good advice.
I don't see, there you go. Yeah. And listen, Laura, I know a majority of people don't do it because we're all living off this. We all live off a program. Yeah. Again, this comes back to your conditioning. You're so used to, let's say you're getting up on a late morning, being frustrated, make a bit of lunch, you know, have a little bit of a moment to yourself in the gaff, and then say to yourself, it's going to be a shit day, another crappy day.
Yeah, now I'm going to be late.
Here, I'm going to be late. What's the point in all this? And straight away, you're just bringing in negative. And again, on a personal level, when I didn't understand this stuff and I first started researching it and getting into it, I thought it was all a load of bullshit. Because me personally, if you hadn't met me years ago to who I used to be, like back in the day, I'm not messing. I'd have said, rob this cunt. He's vulnerable, mate. He's vulnerable. He's not hard knock. he's not connected to himself.
Yeah.
I'm telling you here and now, the people that aren't doing the physical stuff and the mental stuff, they're the people that have the mental health problems.
Yeah.
And you don't see it because the minute you try to introduce something positive or something where people can sit with themselves in life and it brings a bit of uncomfortability, they'd rather go into the uncomfortability of feeling shit, feeling depressed, feeling alone, because that's predictable.
Yeah,
you can
that's
predict
like
the
me.
rest of your day because you know what way the rest of your day is going to go and you know how you're going to feel.
Yeah.
But if you can just go up every morning and just give yourself 10 minutes, 20 minutes, and I swear to God, right, and it's a thing again, it comes back, it's like training. It's like training a horse. And how we put this into perspective for people is with the mindfulness. When you sit with yourself, you close your eyes and your brain is gathering all these thoughts. A lot of shit is coming off you, a lot of uncomfortability, all your thoughts. You have to say to yourself, and it's hard to do with repetition, you have to sit with yourself first thing every morning and say to yourself, your brain is saying, but I need to go for my phone and I need to text that person and I need to be stressed out. If you can just sit in that moment for 10 to 20 minutes, and like I said, your body holds memory, or your body holds memory, your brain holds memory. It's about getting your body to listen to you. And even though your brain's run away with itself and you feel like you have 100 things doing to be doing today, you say to yourself, mate, you're going nowhere. Yeah. You're not moving till I tell you to move. Even though your body might be there and you'd be like, but I'm hungry. But I need to reach for the phone. But I need to ring this person. I need to be negative. Normally every morning at 9 o'clock I'm speaking negative. You're just trying to change. And what it is, and what I'm trying to speak about through mindfulness, your body's full of proteins. So all it is through mindfulness is you're just trying to change chemically what's going on in your body. Yeah. You're trying to change those bad feelings to good feelings, those bad thoughts to good thoughts. And the only person that's going to do them in life for you is you. So what I say to people is, get comfortable being uncomfortable, because like I said, I know people can be very uncomfortable in situations, but that's the known. That's predictable for them. At least they know the rest of the day. You ask a lot of people, sit with yourself for 20 minutes, fuck me, they'd rather be shot in the head because of what it brings up for them. And for me, it's like I bring up a lot of uncomfortability, you know, like I said, the brain holds memory, the body holds memory. It was about me challenging, what am I holding? What's going on for me here, mate? What do I think of myself today? What do I want today? Who am I? Like for many, many years in my life, and I've said it so many times in this, because there's something that has to be preached. A lot of people that just grow up physically, it doesn't mean you do mentally. You're still the fucking same person when you were 12 at 50 fucking years of age. You'll still have your little fucking tantrums, your little bitches, your moans when life doesn't go your own way. This is where you need to be connected with yourself and say, hang on, mate, what happens outside of my control is out of my control. What has happened in my past is my past. It's not me anymore. Until you fully want to change and truly want to change, nothing is going to change. Like, you have to change. And like we said, people are going to say, well, how have you changed? You're still physically the same. You have to change who you are on the inside in order to move on in life and become the best and better version of you. For a long time in my life, I didn't know who I was till I actually started doing this work. And now I'm actually comfortable in my own skin. And I'm actually comfortable looking in the mirror rather than doing this in the mirror saying, fuck me, mate, you're a fuck up. Do you know what I mean? You're a fuck, you're useless, you're a waster.
Do you know what? I'll give you one, Gizzy, because this one, I remember a good few years ago, somebody stopped me. I was giving out about myself, right? And, you know, like that, just beating myself up, you know. And
like people do on a daily.
And this woman said to me, she said, would you talk to me the way you're talking about yourself? And I said, no.
No way.
She said, well, why are you doing it to yourself? And then she was leaving that day and she says to me, do us a favour. She says, the next time you're talking to yourself like that, think of 6-year-old Laura and you explain to her why you gave up on her. And that fucking hit me.
There you go.
I was like, whoa. Because I could see my 6-year-old self and I felt so bad for her. And I was like, what are you doing?
Right, and I'll tell you, right, as well, and I'll touch on it as well, a personal point of view. And I totally get that saying, and I totally get how people feel. I've done a lot of work where I had to sit with my trauma, and I had to actually realise the majority of the actions I took on a daily, how I spoke, what I said, how I felt, resentment, anger, fear. They all came from the little boy in me. It was only till a very, very good friend of mine, Dave Fennell, an amazing person, biggest role model in my life, wouldn't be who I am today. This man done amazing work alongside me. He'd always say, but you done the work. But I wouldn't have known how to do that if he didn't give me the awareness, if we didn't have the one-to-one conversations.
Yeah.
So the point I'm touching on, a lot of my shit and my behaviours came from my little boy, my inner child.
Yeah.
This is stuff where I had to look at and say, who is making the decisions today? Is it a little boy, Stephen, or is it a man that's present today?
Yeah.
And I'm not saying this work is easy by any means. I'm doing the physical stuff since 2012. I'm doing the mind and body stuff the past 6 years. And this is all it's still something that you have to practice on a daily. You have to be aware of it on a daily. You have to speak it to yourself on a daily. You know, you have to read the books. You have to do the writing. Because I know for me, like I said, Laura, I totally get where you're coming from. A lot of the decisions I'd have made in my life was based off hurt little Stephen.
Yeah.
A lot of shit that I would have carried. So until I actually went, and before I even would have done the mindfulness and stuff like that, I had to sit with myself and challenge myself and say, you know, who is this whole little kid?
Yeah.
You know, a lot of people, I've a lot of trauma. I could get into a lot of stuff on this. You know, I've done things have been done on me. I carried it for years. I blamed everybody. I blame my ma, blame my dad, blame society.
Yeah.
At the end of the day, now I realise none of that has any control in my life anymore.
Exactly, and we don't need to be a fucking victim.
No, listen, victim
Yeah.
mentality.
Yeah.
Everybody, listen, people's problem is, and I don't mean this in a bad way, too many people wake up living in the past and we feel like a victim to society.
I am to blame for that. I do that.
Yeah.
I do act a victim, and I'll like, no fucking word of a lie. And Chris, I'll tell you, I've often gotten up on a Monday morning and Chris go off to work and I'll bring the kids to school and I'll come home and I'll be like, I can't go to work. I just can't do this.
I don't have the head.
And I'll get back into my bed and I'll sleep for 4 hours, but I've slept all night.
Yeah.
I don't need to sleep for 4 more hours. I need to be here. Do you know what I mean?
It's victim mentality.
It is.
And this is a big thing as well. And what I do say to people, and I used to do it myself, wake up, pity me, boo-hoo me.
Yeah.
It's his fault, it's her fault. Fuck you, God. Like, whether you believe or not or whatever, it's like, I didn't ask to be put here. Why did you put me here? Everything in my life was victim mentality. And when you feel like a victim, you react a whole different way towards people, most of all towards yourself. Because when you feel like a victim, you feel like you've been hard done by in life. So what I mean as well by victim mentality, and a lot of people waking up with that, is you have to get thinking about what you're thinking about. You know, you have to get comfortable being uncomfortable. This is the work. This is the challenges. You know, again, I'll bring it back to before I ever done the mindfulness. I had to actually look and sit with myself through the uncomfortability, through doing the men's work, through having the honest conversations. And for that bring me a lot of personal growth. But I had to look at the hurt little boy that was in me, because that affected me for so many stages in my life, and I made that impacted people around me, impacted my family, it impacted my community for wrong things that I done, because I felt like a victim. All I ever focused on was the things I don't have and I should have, and it's his fault and it's her fault. At the end of the day, and the reality of it is, nobody has any power over you to control your life more than yourself. This is where you need to let go of victim mentality. Stop waking up in the mornings and stop blaming other people. I understand we feel shit, we feel alone, we feel depressed. I've been there, I've been homeless, I've been suicidal, I've been at rock bottom, I've been there, but you know what? Only because of being there, I could actually say to myself, I don't want to live like that, because it's not living, it's existing. So the main thing was, right, mate, you need to get serious about developing yourself here, changing yourself and sitting with yourself. And again, like I said, it's the most uncomfortable work I ever done, but it's work,
so
listen, I'm telling you, communities, fucking countries, everybody and everywhere would be a lot better place if people just set up them fucking selves, just set up themselves and actually acknowledge what comes up for them.
Because like that, even those days where I do kind of go back to bed and think, no, I can't cope with this day,
Yeah.
I need a mental health day. On those days, I go back to bed for 4 hours and I get up and I'll go and collect the kids and I'll do the dinner and I'll clean the house and all the rest of it. I don't feel any better by the end of the day. And if anything, I feel worse.
Of course.
Because now I've let loads of people down. It
And I
just
think most
doesn't
of all
fuck-
what you're
it doesn't
saying,
help.
you let yourself down.
I let myself down.
Even though we do look to blame a
Yeah.
lot of people to say, oh, I feel shit because I didn't show up for them or I didn't do that for them. But most
Yeah.
of all, it's your inner
didn't
critic
show up for
that feels
myself.
shit because you didn't show up for yourself.
Yeah, exactly.
Do you know what I mean? And this is
Exactly.
the importance of showing up for yourself every day,
Yeah.
regardless of what's going on around you. Like, it's a true saying, nothing changes till you change.
No.
You know, yeah. Like, it's coming from 90% of the stuff you thought about yesterday and done yesterday, it's just a repeat of what you're doing again today.
Exactly.
And that just goes on and on and on. And it just fucking spirals to where, like, this start, like, we're all happy kids, you know, we don't judge, we don't have as many, let's say, we're not full of fear, we're not full of anxiety. As kids, we dream a lot, we speak a lot, we don't worry about being criticised. You dance in the middle of the road, you dance in a puddle with 100 people around you.
Yeah.
You try to do that as an adult, because as you get older, you're told, you're a fucking idiot, mate.
Yeah.
What are you being happy for? What are you laughing for? What are you smiling about? Life is hard. It's not about being happy. And a lot of that as well comes back to from the people we grew up around.
Yeah.
Do you know, you're looking at them miserable, sad, lonely, just getting by day to day.
Still acting the
you know,
victim.
toxic relationships. You know, fucking toxic with other people. And you're saying, even though I feel this way as teenage years and as an adult, you think that's the normal way of living. Listen, why the fuck are so many people taking their lives on a daily? Why are so many people substance abuse, alcohol, you know, ending up in fucking mental institutions? You know, suicide has never been at its worst probably in the fucking history of the world. You know, genuine, because it comes back to social media's people around. It's this whole poxy competitive materialistic shit. You know, I'll be happy when I get the car, I'll be happy when I get the bike, I'll be happy when I get the house. Listen, and this is a big thing I say to people, you fucking won't be, because trust me, and I know from experiences, you'll get the money, you can get the car, you can get the house, you can get the fucking teeth, you can physically look great, but you will always go back to being the same fucking person. Miserable, depressed, shitty. But you walk outside the door and people say, doesn't he look like he's doing great? I don't give a bollocks what you have. Materialistic shit. That's not your riches.
No.
Your riches is an inside job. The only thing that matters at the end of the day is how you feel inside and how rich you are inside. And I don't mean riches in wealth. I mean riches in love, joy, fucking give a shit. Give a shit about yourself.
Some of the wealthiest people I know are
Still jumping off bridges and killing themselves. Do you know what I mean? They're still killing themselselves. You know, money is, listen, it's never been, never will be. Or the same, we look at a lot of these teenage kids, the same, and coming into the youth, you know, and they're running around, they're doing whatever for the jacket, for the car, for a watch. They'll never change, it'll only get worse, your mental health will get worse. It brings you no happiness, I'm telling you, I've had it, I've been there, I've done that. It will bring you no happiness. I always say, I don't give a fuck who you are, male, female. When you lie in the bed at the end of the day, you'll always have a fair idea of who you fucking are. Whether you're anxious, full of fear, depressed, lying there in a big house, you have a safe full of money, you have the watches, you have the cars, but you're still looking at that at the door saying, it'd be easier for me to hang out that thing. Do you know what I mean? Where's the value there to your life? Where's your worth in all of that? There's no worth because it means fuck all. At the end of the day, it's like money doesn't bring happiness. Happiness brings money. If you're happy and have all of these things, then you can enjoy them. But don't ever forget to bring it back to number fucking one. Do you know what I mean? It's all an inside job.
100%. And I think, like, and it's not because I know you and like you, but I think that what you're doing, the personal training was always good for you anyway.
100%.
Because you're that type of person and you're really approachable. But the whole gym thing, like, for somebody who would be nervous or somebody like myself that does suffer with their mental health, and I mean up and down like a yo-yo, I think a lot of people gravitate to what you're doing.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Where you can go into a commercial gym.
I do understand. I
Yeah.
really understand.
Like, if I went into a commercial gym, like, I couldn't say to me coach, "So I feel a bit shit today." You know, they're like, "Well, you're on my fucking time." Do you know what you're talking about? Like, well, fuck off then. You know, but I think the way you're doing it, and having the gym now as well, like I would see you like a life coach. As well. Do you know
I would have a lot of people.
Should go in hand.
I'd have people saying to me, "Would you not go down this career, that career?" I'm like, I'm quite happy and content with what I'm doing and here I am.
Yeah.
So the main thing, I'm happy with that, and if I can help other people in the process, that's just a bleeding bonus for me, because at the end of the day, I'm going to show up for number one. I'm going to show up for Stephen Kiely, regardless of, I'm not responsible, excuse me, for other people's happiness every day. Yeah. You're responsible for your own happiness, for your own self-worth, for how, listen, there's mornings I wake up at 5:30, 6 o'clock, it's a cold bleeding morning. I'd love to get back in that bed for an hour, but I choose not to, because that's my time to invest into me. That's my time to get connected with myself. And I totally get you as well on that point. You know, people are going into gyms. There's a lot of people. They're not me. I'm not saying that out of an ego point of view. They're not me. Yeah. I totally get from the whole perspective, you're on my time. This is where me put my gym out there. And the main thing is, and I want people to be comfortable. I want to have these little conversations with people, only if they want to go there. I never force nothing on anybody. I wouldn't push anything on anybody. It all starts with awareness. Awareness is key. I just want people to know that what I'm doing now is more than just fucking fitness. I want you to understand, fitness is only 1 hour a day, 3 days a week. What you do with them other 23 and 24 hours every day is in your hands. It's in your control. As
completely out of your control.
As much as it's out of my control what you do with yourself. As much as people might think, you know, if this is all out of my control, you know, look what's going on around me. Look at me community. Look at me society. I'd never minimise anyone's trauma. I'd never ever minimise anyone's trauma. But the main thing for me is I want people to know that you can move on from it. You can get past it. You really, really can. You know, like I said, I've been at rock bottom. I'm not saying I'm somebody who went into the gym game. I've always had it easy. I've fucked up so many times in life myself. To where I said to myself, I'm at a stage in my life where I can't go backwards. I've done way too much work in myself. I can't go back. And at times I used to be like, it'd have been a lot easier for me to live in my past, because it was just easier to live then. Because I could predict me day, you know, the robbing, the stealing, the conniving, the whole lot.
Teenager shit that
it's
everybody
teenage
fucking
shit,
did,
but a lot of people then, they're still doing it at 40, 45, 50 years of age. So that's where for me, again, it's like when I first went into the gym game in 2012, I went in with all the wrong reason. And I held my hand up to that. I went in with that, I went in full of ego. I wanted to do it to show a sense of worth, sense of pride. You know, I will be somebody, I am a somebody. I never had myself in the process. And for me, the struggle was trying to, you know, keep the clients on board. I was constantly saying, but the physical stuff, because you're only trying to sell something. And for me now to try sell something, I'm not being my fucking authentic self, because I'm not trying to sell anything here. I'm actually trying to help people change their life, change their daily routine, mindset, change their daily habits. You know, just change. Small daily changes. Listen, I'm not saying I went and opened the book on neuroscience, or I read it, I investigated it, I done a meditating session for the bleeding week and my life turned around. I still have mornings when I get out of bed and say, shit, I'm not feeling the greatest today, I'm feeling a little bit flat. And don't get me wrong, that's not a bad thing by any means. That's not negative. It's not a bad thing on you. You're only fucking human. But if you can say to yourself, hang on, you know, where did I go wrong yesterday? You know, where did I start? Why did I start judging people? Why did I start criticising myself? It all started with me thinking. And if I have a morning where I get up a little bit later and I don't get connected with myself, well then I can't get fully fucking present in the day. So that's the importance of getting connected with you. You know, showing up for you.
Fear and anxiety is a huge part of it as well. Like on Sunday, say I I'd said to myself, right, the shop, I need to focus, like proper focus now, and keep, like the shop is thriving and it's doing great, and we're just about to have the post office open directly across the road. It was an absolute game changer, and it's incredible. And I had said to myself over the weekend, I was like, right, balls out now, I'm gonna have the place absolutely gorgeous. It's always lovely, but I am gonna really throw myself into this, and that'll be my focus for a while. And I was like, no more of this getting up feeling shit and making excuses and not feeling like you're not feeling well. Go to fucking work anyway. Do you know what I mean? But because I built this up so much in my head over the weekend, I literally got up Monday morning, I brought the kids to school, and I'm coming back and my stomach was in bits. I literally thought I was going to shit myself. And it was by that evening, I was like, I don't know whether I was actually sick or did I build up this anxiety so much that I made myself sick. I'm still unsure of that, do you know what I mean? But like that, I honestly think, and this is not to advertise you, but I honestly think anybody, I mean, young people don't give a fuck. 16-year-olds, 17-year-olds, they're going to go to any gym because they want to pump iron, look huge and all the rest of it. If I was somebody in our age group, you're exactly where I'd be going. Do you know what I mean? Like, I'm very lucky I have Chris. Chris is brilliant. He'll drag me out from under a rock when I need to.
He's a gentleman.
He's a fucking angel.
Yeah, 100%.
I'd have been like, here, you, out, get up there, get the fuck out to work. Do you know what I mean? But he's very patient and he's very good and he gets it. But like that, I think anybody from 30 up, I think the type of person that they need is not just someone that's going to show them how to lift weights or do deadlifts or fucking, grow a few muscles.
Yeah, of course.
They need somebody where they can say, Gizzy, I feel like fucking shit today, and you can talk them around. You know
what, Laura, you're spot on, because even we touching on that topic, and I'd say, the mind, the body, and this is what we do. How all this started for me was just having one or two people to go to and be honest with.
Yeah.
And even if I couldn't go and be honest, even if it meant just sitting in their company and listening to them, and then I'd hear them being open and honest, and honesty bred, and I knew then, hang on here, you're not fucked up, you're not worthless, you're not the shit out the end of the barrel. It started for me with awareness to where I had to sit in and listen, and never mind me feeling comfortable about what I was talking about, because even if I didn't go there, I had to get uncomfortable listening to other people. And the big thing for me and Laura was trust. Trust was a massive thing, because your hurt, your pain, your trauma. I'd only talk about it now. Years ago I wouldn't have said it, didn't even know I was carrying it. I just thought that's who I was. So it was like, men don't cry. Shut the fuck up or I'll give you something to cry about. All this bleeding men mentality.
The suicide rate in men is way higher than it is in women, because we don't mind it out.
Sad. It's absolutely, I swear.
Devastating.
It hurts me. I'm not messing. I'll tell you, when something happens in communities and I hear of, and I don't mean just grown men, grown women taking their own lives, and I know what it's like to be there. I know what it's like to have the thoughts. I know what it's like to wake up every morning and say, I don't want to live. I truly don't want to live. I know what it's like to be like that. But I find for people even touching on this is, and I know we all say, reach out to somebody, talk to somebody. It's the whole trust thing. It's just about even finding that one person where you can just say, look, I'm not feeling great today. And just be open to listen, because the brain is dangerous, like I said, don't believe everything you bleed and think, we all think in pictures, we all create these big scenarios in our head, Yesterday is history, tomorrow is a mystery. The reality of it is, all you have, I mean you sitting right here now, Chris, is this fucking moment, right here, right now. So if you can just mind yourself as best as you can in this moment, you'll be okay. But again, like I said, you have to talk. Listen, I didn't do all this. Like I said, when I went into the gym game years ago, I was like, it's Stephen Kiely's, he's going to build it on his own. I trust nobody. I let nobody in. It's all the biggest load of bollocks, right? Your mental health is ruined in the process. You're full of fucking ego, full of fear, full of trauma. So I know for me now, it's like, I'm having a bad day. Let's ring up me mate Pierce, honest conversation. Or ring up me little brother, what's the story? Not feeling the greatest today. Or you know, here's a bit of information for how I was feeling last week. Boom, honest conversation, feel a little bit better about yourself. You feel a little bit better, then you say, right, hang on. And I'm not saying people have to go in the gym for this physical stuff, slam the weights around. And my main quote thing now will be for the likes of my videos will be, get out and get moving. That's all you got to do. Even if, go for a walk. Go for a walk. If you just even get out in the bleeding morning, a bit of fresh air. Listen, the physical stuff is so underestimated. Nature is so underestimated. I look at a lot of people that like, listen, I'm not minimising, I'm not a fucking doctor here by any means. People are saying, I'm on antidepressants, 15 years, have they helped? No, then why the fuck are you still taking them? Why are you still taking them? Because, you know, they're only a fucking solution.
I think I was on antidepressants about 11 years. And I came that close to taking my own life.
On antidepressants. There you go.
And I was here. And I went home that day and I was so frightened that now it was pure accident that I'm still here, because I had been here in work and I was doing a haircut. Somewhere between the start and the end of that haircut, I had decided that was it. I wasn't even going to be leaving this.
Isn't that how quick it can happen for people, and now flip the switch,
it frightened me, and it still frightens me to this day, because
you think you can go back there?
I was real calm. I was so calm about it, wasn't upset. It was like, it was just a fact. It was something that was about to happen, and that was it. And I was so calm, and it fucking frightens me still to this day. And as that man went to leave here, I went to close the door, to lock the door. It was about 11 o'clock in the morning, and a young fella knocked at the door, and I know him. He lives down the road, and I actually told him this story a few months back. But he knocked at the door, and I, just as I was locking it, and I says, no, I can't do it, I'm going for lunch. And he says, oh, please, man, I'm in court, and I'm in court in an hour and a half. And I was like, I don't care, I can't, I'm going. And he was like, no, come on, Lord, come here. This is the difference between me getting locked up and not getting locked up, walking into court looking like this. And I was like, and I loved that young fella, he's sound. So I was like, right, come on then. And he got into the chair, and I started cutting his hair, and just as quick as that thought came into my fucking head, it left me. And by the time I was finished cutting that young fella's hair, I let him out, and I sat on the other side of that door. I slid all the way down to the ground, and I sat there and I cried for about 20 minutes in shock, not because of poor me or anything from me past or anything that's happened. The fact that if that young fella, if that kid hadn't it came in to get that haircut for court, I was already so calm in the situation. It would have been done before I realised I didn't want to do it. And I went home.
It's scary and it's frightening, isn't it?
I never ever want to experience anything like that again. But I went straight home. I locked the shop. I went home. I told him. He couldn't believe it. I was just like, do you know what? See them tablets.
We never know where anyone's head's at.
No, I said them.
You never know where anyone's head's at.
Them tablets are useless to me, and from that day, I never took another one. And I know they say never to stop taking them without a doctor weaning you off them, but I was like, there's absolutely no fucking way in hell never will I take one of them again.
And the same again, totally understand. I will sit here and say, done the inner walk, I've done, which is, was it your whole little boy, is your inner child? Who was making the decision today? The man who was making the decision today.
I don't know who made that
the man or the boy?
Day.
Now we'll turn around as well and be totally honest. When you're doing a lot of work and you really, really like, if you're in your teens or you're in your 20s and in your 30s and listen, and I know from a personal point of view, when you wake up every day, when you go to sleep every night and you pray you don't wake up, but you just don't have the balls to take your own life, and every day you wake up and you genuinely do not want to live, you want to die, but let's say you don't have the balls to take your own life, but you hope something happens where you actually do die. That is very, very scary. It's very, very frightening. Now, what I'm going to touch on as well, what I mean by the inner walk, if you want to go and do some inner walk and you want to have a real, now I mean, a serious, sit down with yourself, like in a serious conversation to say, nothing's going to change till I change here, mate. You want to be willing to sit in this shit Sitting there uncomfortability.
Yeah.
And I mean, and fucking cry.
Yeah.
And hurts.
Yeah.
It fucking hurts. But the only way to get by the hurt is dealing with the hurt.
Yeah.
It's the only... Listen, hurt comes in for somebody, boom, block it out.
Yeah.
You know, the mindfulness, I'd say, sitting with yourself, you feel uncomfortable, block it out.
Yeah.
Listen, you're never... Nothing changes till you change.
Yeah, absolutely.
Nothing changes till you
yeah.
change.
Yeah.
You know,
Nothing
if it
will
means...
change until you change
If it
something.
means getting
doing,
uncomfortable, having
Yeah.
a cry, look, listen.
If you're doing the same thing you've always been doing, don't expect change.
Nothing changes till you
Nothing's
change.
gonna change. No.
That's just the... Look, isn't that just a fact of life?
It is.
Like, and look, Lord, and I'm at a stage where it's like, I knew a majority of my life was, you know, fucking just fucked up where my head was at.
Yeah,
I
same.
like I said, I didn't know how I would go by a mirror, and even if I did see myself physically, but majority of the time was I couldn't look at myself. And I'll tell you even another little thing, right, as well, the likes of the secondary school. I used to even look at people. I used to go to secondary school all the time, and people like, oh, you come from a good family, you're a good kid, right, blah, blah, blah. I went to secondary school every day feeling judged, full of fear, full of anxiety.
Yeah.
Now this only grew over time. So I got to a stage where I'm not messing, like, I look at the person, there was always one kid in the room, and it's terrible, you know, the likes of the bullying, and you know, it really is, you know, to destroy somebody's confidence just because you want to feel rappy or feel like, you know, eye bleeding, look at me, feel a little bit better about yourself. I used to even look at the kid, let's say, that had nothing, that was that bit overweight, that never went to school, and I'd always look and say, well, maybe they know who the fuck they are, because I don't have a clue who I am.
Exactly.
That's how, but in my gaff growing up, it was like, what's wrong with you? We bought you this, we bought you that.
Yeah.
We didn't, you know, I come from a different area, you know, mother, father, different generation. Didn't know about emotions.
No.
Didn't know it was like okay to not be okay, you know. I didn't know none of that. We hadn't got a clue about any of that bleeding stuff. Do you know what I mean? So, look, the main thing today is, and even for myself, is, you know, nothing changes till you change. You got to be willing to do the uncomfortable work. You have to be willing, you know, to sit with yourself.
Yeah.
You have to be willing to go and do the physical stuff. You listen, you know, you can turn around and say, but why this and but why that? Look, we're human beings. We're all made up from, you know, certain DNA, chemicals, chemistry. That won't change till you change it. No. And that's the fact of the matter. Exactly. And you can go out and buy your house tomorrow and buy your car tomorrow. Yeah, will you feel good for a day, a week, a month? But guarantee you, when you get pissed off at that, you're going to go back to being who you are. So don't mistake pleasure for happiness. They're two different things. No. Pleasure is instant, happiness is seeked.
Exactly.
Do you get me?
And like that as well, like powerlifting brought me happiness.
There you
do
go.
You know what I mean? And I know when I'm doing it, I'm happy. Do you know what I mean? So it is something that I'm going to jump back into.
Definitely.
Feet first.
I advise the physical stuff, like I said.
100%.
We're talking about the mental stuff and the power of the mind, not to be underestimated. Everything, even for me, again, even with the likes of the mind stuff, it all started with the physical stuff.
Yeah.
I had to do the physical stuff first.
Yeah.
Do you get me? I'm not saying that's the case for everybody. We're all different in every way, shape and form.
And
but the physical was for me.
We were training as well, like for competitions and all. Like I found it easy to train when I knew I had a competition coming
Of course.
When I'm not aiming for something, I struggle a little bit.
Yeah.
But also, I don't think I suffered bad with my mental health in any of that time. Did you
No.
agree? Yeah. And it was literally, as soon as I stopped, it took a nosedive. So I do know what I have to do.
This is where I'm saying people got out and you got to get out and you got to get moving. Regardless of him, her, he, she. You can sit around and blame who. Listen, like, you know, it's not nice to feel that way every day.
No.
It really is not nice. If you're feeling shit in yourself every day, suicidal thoughts, mental health problems through the roof. And mental health doesn't have to be this. It's not like mental health, it's a bad thing. It's like your body. If you can physically change your body, you can mentally change your mind. And it comes back to it again, how much are you going to put into it? How much are you, how much time are you going to spend on it? You know, it's not going to change if you're only doing one gym session a month or one a week, or one mindfulness a week, or one a month, because you'll get nothing from it.
You're only doing it once
of course.
Because if you are only doing it once a month, you know that you should be doing that in 3 days later. So 3 days later, you're going to feel shit that you're not doing it again today. So it actually is worse.
And
but like that as well, I want to just make a point. and I said it again, it's not just because I know you and I like
I
you,
know that.
but anybody watching this, you can clearly see that if you're somebody who struggles with your mental health but wants to be out and training and getting into the gym and all the rest of it, I honestly think, Gizzy, you are the man for it, because
Thank you.
I know for a woman my age going into a gym, I would find it very hard to explain me head to somebody. But you've already got it. You already know this.
I can, and it's not even this way. It's like because I understand. I can almost. I can understand people. I can read people, and most of all, I get where they're coming from because I've been there. Do you know? Because I've been there. I know what it's like to feel that way, have them insecurities, have them fears. You know, little fucking no sense of worth. You know, I totally get that. I totally get that.
I don't think any woman in their 40s is going to get a whole lot out of, say, a personal trainer in their 20s who hasn't kind of had.
Listen. You might get the physical stuff. Yeah. They'll say, listen, you should be doing your macros or micros. You know, we'll do your measurements every week.
That's not to put them down. It's
by any means.
By
any means. No.
I think for if it's an older person, I genuinely think that you are the way
I'll just even for the last thing, even from even my end, I'll say is if people want to really fucking change, and this isn't me blowing smoke out me, if you want to really fucking change mentally, physically and emotionally, come on board. I'll help you. I will help. I won't force something. No one.
Go to the gym.
Sound great, grand. If you want to come in and be part of something,
change your thought process.
I'm there 100%. I'll always show up for me, you know.
Where is the new gym? How can people contact you?
Yeah, so the gym is in Kilbarrack Industrial Estate, and you can contact me, hear me contract. I will get a big contract someday. So they can contact me through social media like Facebook and Instagram.
And that's Gizzy Kiely.
And that's Gizzy Kiely. So on Instagram it's Gizzy Kiely Gym, and then on Facebook it's just Gizzy Kiely.
Yeah.
So anyone struggling, look, listen, I know it's the whole physical thing as well that I'm putting out there. Anyone struggling with their mental health, feeling a little bit shit, feeling a little bit low, reach out, touch out to me. If we can help you, I'll fucking help you.
I leave links for all your
brilliant,
all your platforms.
Brilliant.
Under this on YouTube, also on Instagram as well.
Thank you.
And do you know what? You're brilliant at this.
Thanks very much.
Already brilliant.
I try. I'm just listening. I'm just this is me.
This is your third chat with me.
Second, yeah. Second chat, and I've changed a lot since fucking then as well. Grown up a lot, you know. So.
I don't know.
Not physically,
I think I've grown
mentally.
down a bit.
You know, yeah.
But no, Gizzy, thanks so much
Legend.
for coming in.
Thank you very much, yeah.
I
much
really
appreciate you and Chris. Thanks very much.
About what's to come for
Brilliant.
you. Brilliant.
I've now that listen, keep yours all out. A lot more content coming out. Thank you very much. Okay.
And we really appreciate it all posted on everything.
Yeah. Thanks a million.
Thank you.
Cheers.